Hi, welcome to another video digest. I'm May, and in this video series, I break down Supreme Court cases into relatable stories. Today's case is fraught with marital problems, both secret and known. This is the case of Francisco versus Master Iron Works and Construction Corporation, decided on February 16, 2005. Josefina Castillo married Eduardo Francisco, a company vice president in 1983 when she was only 24 years old. At first glance, it looked like the beginning of a life headed toward comfort and stability, a happily ever after. A little over a year later, in August 1984, a major purchase was made. A property in Parañaque, consisting of two residential lots and a house, was bought and registered under the name Josefina Castillo Francisco, married to Eduardo G. Francisco. Months later, in February 1985, Eduardo executed an affidavit declaring that the property belonged exclusively to Josefina, that she had purchased it using her own savings, and that he was waiving whatever rights or claims he had over it. For a while, life carried on as usual, until Eduardo got into serious debt. In June 1990, Eduardo, then general manager and president of Reach Out Trading International, purchased 7,500 bags of cement worth 768,750 from Master Iron Works and Construction Corporation, or MIWCC. He never paid, so in November 1990, MIWCC sued Eduardo. The company won, and in January 1992, the court ordered Eduardo to either return the cement or pay its value, together with interest, damages, attorney's fees, and litigation expenses. To enforce the judgment, the sheriff moved against Eduardo's assets. A notice of levy was annotated on Josefina's Parañaque property, and steps were taken to auction it to satisfy Eduardo's unpaid obligations. Naturally, Josefina objected. She insisted that the property belonged exclusively to her, supposedly acquired through her own savings and financial help from her family. She also relied on Eduardo's affidavit of waiver. But before Josefina could fully present her evidence in court, a painful discovery unraveled everything. She learned that before their 1983 wedding, Eduardo had already been legally married to another woman, Carmelita Carpio. Josefina then took another fight to court. She filed a petition before the regional trial court to declare her marriage void. In 1996, the RTC ruled in her favor and declared the marriage null and void for being bigamous. Suddenly, the dispute became much bigger than unpaid debt and levied property. What happens to property acquired during a marriage that legally never existed? Josefina won the first round in the trial court. The RTC ruled that the levy and auction of Josefina's Parañaque property were null and void. The court believed that the property belonged exclusively to Josefina and found that MIWCC failed to prove that Eduardo helped acquire it. But MIWCC appealed. The CA said that because the property was acquired during Josefina and Eduardo's relationship, it was presumed to belong to them together. Eduardo's affidavit waiving his rights could not simply erase that presumption. Josefina asked the Court of Appeals to reconsider, but it refused. So the question reached the Supreme Court. Could Eduardo's creditors still go after the property despite the void marriage? According to the Supreme Court, yes, the creditors could go after the property. Since Eduardo was already married to another woman, his marriage with Josefina was void from the beginning. Because of that, The ordinary rules on conjugal partnership did not apply. Instead, their property relationship was governed by Article 148 of the Family Code, the rule covering relationships where parties cannot legally marry each other, including bigamous unions. Under Article 148, only properties acquired through the parties' actual joint contribution of money, property, or industry become co-owned. In this case, the court was unconvinced that Josefina alone paid for the property. Her claims were found to be inconsistent, unsupported, and uncorroborated. The court also doubted Eduardo's affidavit of waiver, viewing it as a possible attempt to shield the property from creditors. As a result, the levy stood. The property Josefina fought to protect ultimately became answerable to Eduardo's debts. That wraps up today's case digest. Stay tuned for my final videos in this series and do watch my classmates' videos as well. Thank you and see you in the next digest.